Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I apologize for being late. Let's get started. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wassalamu ala nabiyyina al-kareem wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Amma ba'd. To be brief, I've come here today to talk briefly about Al-Fitnah. And the ulama, they split fitnah into two parts. Fitnah al-shubuhat or fitnah al-shahawat. Al-fatan, in Arabic language, one of the words, or use of the words fatan, is a, what do you call it, a cauldron, or you know when you have metal ore, you get like gold or silver or whatever, out of the rock face, and you need to purify it. You put it into a fatan, you heat it up. And when it is now in its liquid form, you can now separate between the metal you want, the purity, you can say purify it, and you can separate that from all the other minerals that are separate and that is not intended. And that's essentially what fitnah does. When it lands upon an individual or upon a nation, upon a jama'ah, it will separate those who are genuine from those who are not. Now, the thing is about fitnah is that it's an ongoing thing, as in what might be a fitnah for me in a negative sense might not be a fitnah for you. Or maybe a fitnah will come into your life today and you survive, but then next week, next month, next year, another fitnah comes and you don't. Life is an ongoing trial, an ongoing struggle until until you die. So the ulama said there are two fundamental types of what we call al-fitnah. The fitnah of shahawat, of desires, and the fitnah of shubuhat, of doubts. Now I'll talk about the first fitnah, which is the fitnah of shubuhat. And I mention it because essentially, it's not, I don't like to belittle any one of them because they could be very serious. Any one of them could be the source of kufr, the source of a person's ultimate disbelief in the end. But in terms of the ilaj, in terms of the cure, then inshallah, the fitnah of shubuhat is more, I would say, visible, more feasible, something you can reach and touch. And that basically refers to doubts. And this is something that, especially the youth here, we're dealing with the youth, need to focus on when it comes to, especially education, what we see on television, what we see on billboards, what we see in here around us. Shubuhat could be something very small. An idea, a concept, a viewpoint. But this viewpoint, this idea could manifest and grow in the heart until this small thing becomes a large thing. And I'll give you one example. I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I want you guys to answer me honestly. Here's a scenario. We've literally, human beings, have found a moon orbiting Jupiter that has oceans of water, H2O. And the kuffar say, we're going to send a probe there and we're going to see if there's life on this moon because there's water. Now, who can identify the underlying premise for the argument that there could be life on that moon? Or better still, who may even say, well, maybe there could be life on that moon? What's the underlying idea and thought, small idea, that will lead to the idea that there could be life found on another planet? Come on. I know I'm late, but come on, give me some feedback. about it. There's water on another moon. There could be life. Okay, if everyone's shy, let me make it easy for you. Let give me a yes or no. Could there be life on that planet? Or moon, I should say. Yes or no? Yeah. Okay, why? Okay. No, but it's important. Could there be life on another planet that has water, much like planet Earth? It's a serious one, because we're trying to identify the many avenues by way in which we are attacked daily in our aqidah, in our belief, in a subtle way. In a way you probably don't even realize. So come on, is there life on this new moon? Okay, why is there no life on the new moon?
I heard that there's no animals or anything above us.
Oh, okay. So you're saying Islam teaches us that there's no life on that moon? Like, okay. But let's explore it. Let's not get what's the word? Ideological, I'll say, or maybe dogmatic. That's the word. Let's not get dogmatic. Let's just explore this for a minute. Be honest. Could there be life on another planet or another moon if you found water on it? Yes or no? And if yes, why? Oxygen and water present, so there should be life present. Why? He said a good point. There should be life present. Why? Okay, our body's made out of water. Someone else? Someone else, come on. Speak. Be men. Come on. Be brave. Huh? Say it. In the Quran it says where there's water there's life. Paraphrasing it very badly, but yeah. So come on, let's think, logically speaking, ideologically speaking, why would we think there may be life on a planet that has oxygen and water?
Because it's a basic scientific principle.
What's that?
What he said.
A basic scientific principle, which is what he said. What did you say?
I said with life there has to be water.
With life there has to be water? So can someone explain to me why that is the case? Where there's life there has to be water? Why is that the case? Survival is one thing. We're not talking about survival, we're talking about something being existent. Yes, if I sent someone there, they could probably survive with the oxygen that is there and the water that is there. But I'm saying, none of us have been there. So why is there life there?
Is it because we know that we have life here and there's water here, so that's what we're going to do.
Excellent, we're getting there. Because there's life here, there's water here, so therefore if there's water there should be life there. But why is there life here? Allah created us. That's what we believe. But what is that why you believe there might be life on that moon? Because Allah created it here? I'm trying to get to a certain point here, but maybe someone's too shy to say it. Because the underlying principle is, and that is taught indirectly and directly, is that we evolved from a combination of proteins, amino acids, came together in this soup, primordial soup, and eventually came into being. And these cells eventually subdivided and divided, and eventually they formed little colonies. And eventually those cells became organisms, and eventually those organisms became fish, plant, us, human beings. You get the gist? So when you say, because we found water there may be life there, what's unsaid is that evolution is true. Do you get that? It makes sense. Of course there might be life over there if you believe that life came here because of these factors. But from Islam, from another perspective, Islam sees things differently. We would say water, oxygen is here because Allah intended us to be here and placed it here before we came here. As opposed to it being here and from here we came about. No, Adam was even created here. He came here after. So what I'm trying to say here is that there are many fitnah of shubuhat, doubts. Some of them you may know of and hear that there's a new fitnah which is going around in schools. I'm sure most of you go to government schools where they're now teaching the children about gender fluidity and all the rest of nonsense. And they are teaching many, you could say, honestly in Arabic, mabadi al-umur, these fundamental ideas that are changing people's ideologies, Muslim ideas. Where Muslims are now questioning, what's wrong with all these new ideas that are coming up with regards to gender? No one's going to tell you, ukfur billah, disbelieve in Allah. And you can say, okay, I'm going to disbelieve in Allah. But what it would do is lay down certain foundations. So that without you even realizing it, you start accepting other things. So what I want to say is that we live in a society of fitnah, of shubuhat. And these doubts are everywhere. In the films we watch, in the shows we see, in the schools and educations that we attend, at work, everywhere around us, we have shubuhat, we have doubts. And the reason why I started with this one is because the cure for that is very easy. What's the cure for shubha, for doubts? Ilm, knowledge. Once you have the knowledge of what's correct, you can easily say, okay, that's incorrect. That doesn't make sense. That's wrong. And in case anyone's wondering, is there life on other planets? Why not? It's possible that Allah could create life or not on other planets. We don't know. Allah hasn't told us. He didn't say, I didn't do it. He has said, I did it. We just don't know. It's from an Islamic perspective, it's not clarified to us. So we don't have a particular stance, this way or that way. However, there being an existence of life in other planets doesn't affirm or reject al-Islam. It's neither here nor there. What we do know though, is what Allah tells us, it was useful to us. And that is how to be a good Muslim, worship Allah in order to work for the hereafter. So, that's the first topic the first element I want to discuss and talk about. The fitnah of shubuhat. And the cure for that is knowledge. So, attending lessons and lectures like this, reading the Quran, contemplating the words of Allah, the speech of Allah. And with that, my only advice to you is to take it slowly. Learning Al-Islam is not something you're going to do in a course, in a weekend, in a sleepover, or by watching a few YouTube videos. It's something that's going to take a long time. As long as you keep up with the journey and maintain that journey, you should be fine. But here we have the second one, which is the fitnah of shahawat, the trial of desires. أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. Allah says in the Quran, have you not seen the one who takes his desires as his God? I have unfortunately seen many people who have done exactly that. What do I mean by taking their desires as their God? Meaning, whatever they feel is good and right, then it is right. Whatever they feel is bad and wicked, then it is wicked. Whereas Al-Islam teaches us, no, you are born not knowing anything. And you guys are either in the realms or just after the realms of awareness, bulugh. 13 years old and above, technically speaking, puberty, we start to be aware of certain things. You start looking around and start noticing certain things. And unfortunately, in that stage, early teens, the intellect, the mind is not fully ripe yet. It's like an apple, starting to turn green or starting to turn red, whatever type of apple it is, but it's not ready yet. It's starting, it's beginning, but it's not ready yet. But unfortunately, you don't realize it yet. Everyone here, when you get to 25, 30, 35, you start looking back and think, why did I do such stupid things when I was young? So dumb. But when you were that age, you thought, MashaAllah, I'm so smart, I know things. My mom and my dad, they tell me not to do this, not to do that. What do they know, man? They can't use an iPhone. They don't know how to log into my Android. Oh, they can't even search Google. What do they know? They know quite a lot, actually, about life. And this is where the shahwa comes in. People who, they determine right and wrong from what the nafs informs them. And that is one of the biggest evils a person can fall into, because the cure for that isn't so clear. Shubha is very clear. I can tell you, you can say to me, oh, why did this happen? Why did Islam say this? And you say, because of that. It's, oh, sure, that makes sense. I didn't know. Jazakallah khair for telling me. I know. My shubha has been removed. But if you have shahwa, why does Islam say this? It doesn't make sense. Now there's emotion behind it. There's aggression behind it. There's there's rejection with it. How do you deal with rejection? How do you deal with an emotional investment? It's difficult. And this is where the guidance, unfortunately, is not so straightforward. I can tell you, Ikhwan, follow Al-Islam. Islam teaches you the true path. Islam is nur. Allah has described the Quran and Islam as being a nur, light. Why did Allah describe it as being light? Because if I turned off the lights in this room here and there's no lights at all, you all would struggle to get out the door. And no doubt some of you would even injure yourselves as you try to get out the door. Either you'll injure yourselves or you injure somebody else. Or you elbow someone in their lip, or you give someone a punch in their face, or you stab someone by accident. Because you can't see anything. Islam is a nur, it gives you light. It highlights to you and shows you, don't go in that direction because there's harm there. Don't go over there because there's harm there. And you can't see it yet. And that's where being a Muslim comes into play. Muslim is submission, or Islam is submission. Al-istislam lillahi bil-tawheed, wal-inqiyad lahu bil-ta'a, wal-barat min ash-shirk wa ahlihi. Submission to Allah with monotheism and obedience to His rule in submission and separation from shirk and its people. So a major part of Islam is submission. Allah even mentions in the Quran when He is talking about Muslims going out in jihad, defending the Muslim honor and their lands. Is maybe it's something you dislike, although it's better for you. Maybe some things that you like, it's not good for you. Allah knows you do not. So Allah is already teaching us that there are things that the nafs would lean towards that is not good for us. And Allah is already teaching us that there are things that the nafs shines away from, but it's good for us. And being Muslim is literally submission. To say, Sami'na wa ata'na, we hear and we obey. I trust that even if I don't recognize the benefit now, at some point I may recognize it. And even if later I don't recognize it, there is a benefit nonetheless. And I'll start with the biggest fitnah for us men right here, which is the fitnah of nisa. The fitnah of women. Why is it the biggest fitnah on planet Earth for a man? Because we were designed that way. Allah created within mankind the drive to go out and find a woman. And it is nothing to be ashamed of. You might look at a woman and think to yourself, wow, what a creation of Allah subhanahu. Should you be ashamed of that? Not really. Because that's natural. The dynamics of the man and the woman is very different. A man goes out, he works, he earns, he provides, and he brings home to his family. The dynamics is quite straightforward and clear. What isn't allowed is to act upon that outside the boundaries, the legislation, the regulation. If you want to get married, ikhwan. And don't be afraid of your age, your ability, financial or physical. If you need to get married, make dua, and I'll make the means for you. But the fitna of women comes when you want something outside the correct means. And that's the beauty of Al-Islam. Islam never ever, not even once, says to you, do not act upon your desires. Never, not even once. If you want to drink nice tasting drinks, drink it. Drink. If you want to eat nice tasting food, eat. No worries. You want to go to some fun fair, you want to go travel, whatever you want to do it. But there are sometimes guidelines that shows you, okay, you can do it, but if you do it this way, it's going to harm you. Don't do it. So when it comes to the fitna of an-nisa, of women, problem comes is when we open the door that shouldn't be open, we've entered the room we shouldn't even enter, and now we can't get out. What's that room? The room is going deeper and deeper into shahwa. You start falling in love, and you start thinking about what you're going to do when you get married. You start talking to the sister, and yeah, sister, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and we're going to have lots of kids. We're going to raise them on the sunnah. We're going to raise them up on the sunnah. We're going to raise kids up on tawheed, sister. That's what we're going to do. But you went about it the wrong way, ikhwan. You open the doors. Often I get calls from people. Yeah, I want to marry this person. I want to marry this brother. I want to marry this sister. My father says no. My family doesn't allow it. Not for my tribe. Not for my people. It's hard. It's difficult. My first question is always, just the other day actually, someone asked me, said, oh, I found this person, this brother. I know my dad's going to say no. What should I do? I just said, my first question was simple. If your dad says no, what are you going to do? The reason why I asked that question is that I wanted to see, have they entered that room yet? And I said, oh, if he says no, then I'll find someone else who can probably get me permission to marry him. Because I know my dad's going to give a bad reason. I said, look, have you thought about marrying somebody else? A third person or fourth person? Have you had any other interviews with anybody else? Oh, why should I? Your dad said no. But the fitna has already happened now. You see the fitna? The heart is now attached. The mind is now attached. You feel that you must do X, Y, and Z. And this is where the fitna of shahwa comes into play. The reality comes into play. How do you turn away from that which is bad for you when your heart is now already attached? What can I say to you that you make you turn away when the heart is already there? You're not listening to logic anymore. You're not listening to reason anymore. You're listening to what the heart says to you. And that's why the fitna of shahwa is so dangerous, ya ikhwan. That's why there are so many barriers that Islam has put up between you and that. It's amazing. Don't shake a woman's hand. Don't be alone with a woman. All these things that are put in place are there to stop you from entering that room. Not even entering the room. It stops you from even opening the door. And this, ikhwan, especially the youth, you need to recognize that. You need to recognize this. Be men. The biggest solution, I would say, to this fitna is to be a man. If you really want to get married, there's nothing you need to do beyond just saying, asking the father, approaching the family, and be a man. Say, look, this is my situation. You have a daughter. I'm impressed. What do you say? If daddy says no, qaddarallah ma sha'a fa'al, move on. Nothing's lost. You haven't done anything. But the moment you open the door to the sister, you start texting the sister, start PMing the sister, start sharing messages and images and this and the other, it's too late now. Not only you've opened the door, you've gone into the room and you made your own bed. You're now sleeping in the room. It's now your own bedroom. Gone too far. So the first thing, and also probably the last thing, because time is short, is when it comes to women, ya ikhwan, do not go down that route. Do not take the means which is not allowed. Just be men. Find a woman, maybe you see her, ask her if for her contact details for her family, speak to her dad, speak to her mom, get your family involved. Don't do any of these clandestine things of speaking and talking, because I'm telling you, ikhwan, shaitan doesn't work from here all the way to over there. He works in stages, step by step. He knows you can't make the long jump. He knows you can't jump 15 meters. But he just says, take a step, this step, then that step, then this step. And before you know it, khalas, you're already down in Stratford. You wonder, how did I get here? How do I turn back? I can't, I'm lost. It's too far. And just one last one before the adhan goes, and it's another important one for the youth, is lost opportunity. And this is very common for men, for boys. At this age, we love to enjoy ourselves, enjoy our time. And unfortunately, as ask any adult here, it's not even something I'm telling you, just go ask any adult, your uncle, your dad, ask anyone. Is there anything you regret not doing when you're young? And they'll all say to you everything. I regret not studying harder. I regret wasting my time in these games. I regret wasting my time loafing on the street with my mates. I regret. I could have done my A-levels, I said I did this, I could have done this, I said, wasted time. You guys have an opportunity now to look for your future. You are future providers, sustainers of family, ummah. You're going to have one day your own children sat next to you, loving you and hugging you and saying, daddy, daddy. You need to be that icon that your children look up to. You need to be that provider that your children, your family needs in their life, and you can't do that if you're 25 and now you're looking to do education, now you're looking to gain a work experience, now you're looking to earn some money. It's too late by that time. We have stories of Sahaba who are grandfathers before the age of 25. We have stories of Sahaba who are leaders of armies before the age of 25. We have stories of not even Sahaba, people of the past who are adults with responsibilities before the age of 20 even. Unfortunately, we live in a society where we are taught to stay young as long as possible. We live in a society where we have 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 25-year-olds, 30-year-olds who spend all their time playing games. There's even someone in South Korea who died, the first mortality, from playing games too much. I don't know how, but he sat there and didn't leave that game until he died. We live in a time of where we are surrounded by weapons of mass distraction. And unfortunately, this distraction comes in a more stealthy way every day. We don't realize it, but our WhatsApp has now become our Facebook. Our Telegram has now become our Facebook, where we're sharing this and forwarding this, forwarding that. All we're interested in is what's the latest thing to share and laugh and busy ourselves in. And I'll conclude here by saying, every one of you who has an iPhone, if you've updated your phone, you can go and look in the settings, how long you spend on each app. On a daily basis, on a weekly basis. Go home and analyze how much time you spend doing nonsense. And what would you actually achieve if you just spent half of that time on how benefiting your life? Benefiting your mind, your intellect, your finances, investment. Investment, ikhwan. We think this, what can I invest? I don't know, how old am I? I'm like 15, 16. You can invest in something, you can buy something. You can look up doing some little bit of trade, learn some skills. This is how you use your time wisely, ya ikhwan. And I'm telling you, I guarantee you, you're going to look back at 25, at 30, at 40, and you'll say to yourself, that haze of a time when I was in my teens, what did I actually do? What did I actually accomplish? سبعة يظلهم الله في ظله يوم لا ظل إلا ظله. There are 7 whom Allah will shade in His shade the day when there is no shade but His shade. One of those 7 people is شاب نشأ في عبادة الله, a young youth who is raised upon the worship of Allah. وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.
Jazakallah khair. Ustadh Abu Muawiyah Takar, we ask Allah SWT to bless him and reward him. Jazakallah khair. Right. If you can form ourselves, inshallah, we'll make that then, inshallah. Jazakallah.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
Still tawasul, please show the lines on the straight, put in the gaps, barakallah feekum. Still show your opponents are still show on the side. Jazakallah. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. لا أقسم بيوم القيامة ولا أقسم بالنفس اللوامة أيحسب الإنسان أن لن نجمع عظامه بلى قادرين على أن نسوي بنانه بل يريد الإنسان ليفجر أمامه يسأل أيان يوم القيامة فإذا برق البصر وخسف القمر وجمع الشمس والقمر يقول الإنسان يومئذ أين المفر كلا لا وزر إلى ربك يومئذ المستقر ينبأ الإنسان يومئذ بما قدم وأخر بل الإنسان على نفسه بصيرة ولو ألقى معاذيره لا تحرك به لسانك لتعجل به إن علينا جمعه وقرآنه فإذا قرأناه فاتبع قرآنه ثم إن علينا بيانه الله سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين كلا بل تحبون العاجلة وتذرون الآخرة وجوه يومئذ ناظرة إلى ربها ناظرة ووجوه يومئذ باصرة تظن أن يفعل بها فاقرة كلا إذا بلغت التراقي وقيل من راق وظن أنه الفراق والتفت الساق بالساق إلى ربك يومئذ المساق فلا صدق ولا صلى ولكن كذب وتولى ثم ذهب إلى أهله يتمطى أولى لك فأولى ثم أولى لك فأولى أيحسب الإنسان أن يترك سدى ألم يك نطفة من مني يمنى ثم كان علقة فخلق فسوى فجعل منه الزوجين الذكر والأنثى أليس ذلك بقادر على أن يحيي الموتى الله سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر
الله أكبر. الله الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.